Hello guys, today we're going to speak about reported questions. Reported questions are a part of reported speech. We have already learned what reported speech is. So reported question, when we say reported question, we'll be transferring what someone has said in a question form. So someone is going to ask a question and we are going to deliver that question to a third person. This is what we are going to do. Let's get into the detail. So rule number one, when we are transferring a question in reported speech, we mostly use the verbs ask, inquire or inquire. Inquire or inquire, these are the same things, but one is British, the other one is American pronunciation. And want to know and wonder to report questions. Examples, he asked me if I could help him. She wanted to know whether I lied to her. I wonder if he told me the truth. Alice inquired if there was Wi-Fi in this room. So, what do? When we are transferring a question, we use either ask or inquire or want to know or wonder. Next one. In yes or no questions, we use if or whether to report the question. So, what is a yes-no question? Okay, someone is going to ask you a question. The answer should be yes or no. For example, do you like snakes? My answer, my simplest answer can be yes or no. Do you like snakes? Yes. Or do you like snakes? No, I don't. Okay, so these are yes-no questions. If you see a yes-no question, if someone asks you a yes-no question, and if you want to transfer, report this question, what are you going to do? You're going to use either if or whether. How? For example, my friend John, he asked me a question. He said, do you like snakes? So I'm going to transfer, I'm going to report what John said to a third person, to one of my friends. I start with John asked. Okay, I can use ask, wonder, what to do. Okay, it goes on. John asked me if I liked snakes. If I liked snakes. Remember, look, I used if here plus liked. Why liked? This is a part of reported speech, so that's why I need to apply the step back rule. So the question was, do you like snakes? This was present. So when I'm transferring this, I need to apply the step back rule. So nothing changed. So like became liked. Question number two. Robin, there's a friend of mine called Robin. She asks me a question. She says, have you seen my laptop? Have you seen my laptop? Now, I'm transferring what she said to me. Robin asked who? Me. Robin asked me. Okay. Whether or if I had seen her laptop. So, have you seen became had seen. So, I need to change the subject as well because, this question was directed to me in the first place. She said, have you seen? But when I'm transferring this, you becomes I because I'm talking about myself. So, whether I had seen her laptop. There's a note that I like to indicate. To express an alternative, we can use or not with if and whether. But or not is going to be used at the end of the sentence. For example, someone asks me, do you like fish? And I transfer this and I say, he asked me if I liked fish. Okay, this was okay. Or not. Okay, this is an alternative. So this means that if I don't like fish, there will be something else or something else will be done. So this person is presenting me an alternative. Number two, do you have a choice? Okay. Frankly, apparently this question was directed to me by my teacher. So the teacher asked me whether or if I had a choice or not. So what happened? I used my whether or if. Again, I applied my step back rule, have became had, and a choice, but I ended up with or not. This means that I have other alternatives. The teacher asked me whether I had a choice or not. So this was rule number two. Rule number three. Remember, the first part was about in yes and no questions. So these were about yes/no questions. But this is about double-edged questions. If someone asks you a question with double-edged questions, like what, where, why, who, which. So what are you going to do? This time, you're going to use double-edged questions exactly how it is. For example, someone asks me, hey, where do you live? So I transfer this. He asked me where, okay, I took this where, you became I, live became lived, step back. How's your health? How's your health? She asked me, again, how my health was. My health was. So look, if this is a double-edged question, and if you are transferring, reporting this, mostly we use the verb or the auxiliary verb at the end of the sentence. So for example, in this case, my verb is live. I used it at the end of the sentence. In this case, my auxiliary verb is. I used it at the end of the sentence one more time. How's your health? She asked me how my health was. Is became was. Who's this guy? He asked who this guy was. Is became was. Look, again, one more time. What's the difference? Yes, no questions. There are no WH. So if it's a yes, no question, we must use if or whether. If and whether plus step back rule. However, if there is a WH question, WH word, we need to use WH word as well. At this time, we use verb or auxiliary verb at the end of the sentence. So this was rule number 4. Rule number 4, if the question is a request, suggestion, or an offer, you can follow a more direct approach without using if, whether, or WH questions. So far, we have learned 2 structures. 1, yes, no questions. We use if and whether with them. Plus WH questions. We use WH questions with WH questions. Okay, now this is the last one. If the question is a request or suggestion or an offer, you don't need to use neither of them. You don't need to use them. You can use it, but you don't have to. So you don't have to use if or whether or WH questions. For example, someone asks me, do you need help? Okay, so this is an offer, right? Do you need help? Someone offers me help. So I say, he offered to help me. He offered to help me. I could say, he asked me whether if I needed help, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this was also okay. But there's a shorter version of it. There's a direct version of it. And it is this. Second, can you go out, please? Can you go out, please? She asked me to go out. Number 3, can you pick up your sister? My mom, look, this is a request. My mom wants something from me. So this is what my mom says. My mom said, can you pick up your sister? So I say, my mom requested me to do what? To pick up my sister. If you confuse why we use this to, I'll explain why. I have explained to you guys before the usage of infinitives. What was the real purpose of it? When we have 2 verbs in a sentence, we need to eliminate one, and we need to have only one verb in that sentence. So, look, offer, ask, request, all of them are verbs. But help, go, pick up, these are verbs as well. So, let's say this is my main verb. And when I add a to before this verb, this becomes, to help, becomes a noun. So, this is a verb, this is a noun. Ask is my verb, to go is a noun. Request is a verb, to pick up is a verb. So that's why I turned them into a noun. So that's all. Thank you for watching, guys. If you have any further questions, please don't forget to post your comments down below the video. Take care.